this is where it all started for BMW Motorsport 40 years ago with the E9, the 3 litre, which eventually ended up in its lightweight form, partly due to a large amount of pressure from Alpina, who were campaigning the E9 in the European Touring Car Championship. And what a success story. I mean, it absolutely dominated touring car racing, especially in the ETCC, with multiple championship wins. I mean, fantastic. But this is the car that absolutely is at the birthplace of BMW Motorsport, and BMW as a modern race car builder. And obviously it took another 30 years for them to do the CSL again with this fantastic E46 M3, one of the most exciting cars to come out of BMW in a very long time. But the E46 M3 was already a super car that BMW had produced, you know, a fantastic super saloon. But the M3 CSL, without a doubt, gave it a very special edge. With a lot of time and research at the Nürburgring, they came up with a package that was not just usable, but very fast. And the goal that BMW were aiming at was a sub 8-minute lap of the Nürburgring in a road M3. And that's what makes the CSL amazingly good fun. Now that's the exciting bit of the M3 CSL, and that's the thing that makes that addictive induction noise while you're driving. There's a lovely big butterfly in there, and that beautiful carbon airbox that is only featured on the M3 CSL. The outside of an M3 CSL, of course, is different as well from the standard M3. Not just with the front air dam with its carbon fibre lower spoilers. The first time carbon was used in the roof panel of any BMW, and it's very obvious to see here on the M3 CSL. It looks great as well. Right down to the aerodynamically modified boot lid, which again, only the M3 CSL. In all areas of the M3 CSL was a terrific amount of effort put into saving that extra weight, that 100 odd kilos, 110 kilos, which made such a big difference to the M3 CSL's power to weight ratio. And even in the cabin here, it's a very special place to be, with focus totally on the lightweight aspect of this car. You'll see use, of course, of the carbon fibre plastic door cards, front and rear, even the centre console. Fantastic Alcantara sculpted bucket seats, which give it such a snug ride, especially if you're in the mood for a bit of hooliganism. And of course Alcantara steering wheel. And you notice the CSL only came with SMG gearbox, so you've got the flappy paddles behind the steering wheel. But it also has an automatic mode also. I mean, the efforts they went to save weight were amazing, in the fact that even the mechanism for the through loading on the rear seats was made out of a lighter material, aluminium. I always think this is a great look from the back of an M3 CSL if you're following one. That great upturn of the CSL boot lid, and of course a little bit more carbon fibre there, just to tell you it definitely is an M3 CSL. But it's very rare at Classic Heroes that we find a CSL as unmolested and as original as this car. The paintwork on this car is totally original. We know for a fact it's also never ever been used for track days. Again, a rare thing for M3 CSLs. Mechanically, this car is totally standard. It hasn't had KW coilovers or roll cage or AP brakes fitted. It is original as it left the factory. The car's 3 owners, although the first owner was a speculator who owned it for a very short period of time and never used the car. So effectively it's 2 owners. The current owner spent a long time searching for the right car and was very fussy in his hunt, which is why we have this lovely example now. Importantly, the service history is absolutely complete. Not just is its PDI stamped in the service book, but also it's running in service with BMW. The next 2 services were carried out by Thorney Motorsport, but I think the most amazing thing is the latest service was carried out by Black Falcon in Germany, where the customer, the owner of this car, actually drove to Germany and spent 2 days there while they actually serviced the car. During that time, all shock absorbers were replaced, not because there was anything particularly wrong with them, but because the owner felt they were getting to an age where they could be slightly lazy. 2 rear springs, new front discs, pads, wishbones, etc., and Inspection 2 service, all carried out by Black Falcon and documented. Black Falcon know their way around an M3 CSL very well, which is why he made the effort to travel that great distance to have them service his car. The reason they have the product knowledge in these cars is because they run M3 CSLs in VLN, which is a race series run specifically on the Nürburgring, which of course is the birthplace of the M3 CSL.